Welcome back to Purse First, which for the past 5 years and 7 seasons has been the only podcast exclusively for the girls and gays who rap. I am Prince Pierre, your rap girl uncle, a strict top, the proud co-host, and the personality hire.
And I am Sesali, your rap girl auntie, the trap feminist, and the creator, producer, and host of Purse First. Let's just get the housekeeping out the way real quick. You can watch this episode on YouTube or Patreon, and honestly, you probably should, so you can really just appreciate how special and emotional this episode is. And for the audio only girls, the thing about podcasts is that they stay on the internet after you stop doing it. So it's not going to disappear. So you actually can still leave us those ratings and reviews, and I encourage you to do so. You know, Gen Z love to bring back some old shit anyway. So who knows? We might in 4 years it might be a sudden demand for us to come back because some of the Gen Z kids then discovered the shit. Who knows? But this is a milestone episode because it is our 100th episode. But it also marks the season finale of season 7, and it also marks the final episode of Purse First. If you listen to the last episode that Pierre forced me to do about those white women, you know that we announced that this would be our last episode of the show, and we want to talk to you about how we came to this decision, why the show is ending, and but I thought we would just kick it off on like a bright note and just like share, like, Pierre, what are you after 5 years and 5.5 years and 7 seasons of this, what moments are you the most proud of? What moments stand out as your favorite? Like, just what you love about the show.
One of the things I will always be proud of, y'all know we do a lot of stuff and we'll talk about that later. But when people walk up to me and they say, "Aren't you?" my mind automatically is like, where do these people know me from? I'm always like, is it rapping? Is it producing movies? Is it? And I
Is it Twitter?
love. Did I fuck your nigga? And I love when they say, I listen to Purse First. That is the best thing. People like that. That makes me smile because it's one thing to see a music video. It's one thing to listen to a song. But to actually listen to somebody talk for 60 minutes in a car every single week, that is insane.
Yeah.
So that is one of my favorite things. In season 2, we interviewed a lot of people. And all of those people have gone on to be huge people.
Don't play with it because we quiet as kept. Like season 2 of Purse First, and the thing that I hate is that we was not doing video then because we can't just like pull out the archives. We had some motherfucking guests on this show. Ken the Man, Callie, Kid Ken, Shella, Queen Key. I mean, like, we've had heavy hit McConan. We had heavy hitters on this show. People who was Trina, the baddest bitch unwrapped, has been on Purse First as a guest. Like, that is definitely one of the things that as an entertainment journalist, that
Yes,
I'm
I
extremely
love telling
proud.
people. I interviewed them.
Interview her. Yeah, I interview her.
Yeah.
We started this podcast when the world was still like very much so shut down. And so a lot of those early interviews and conversations were remote. And that really has set the tone for the entire show. And especially because Pierre and I are on different coasts, which we'll also talk about in a second. But yeah, I'm so proud of the guests that we have had on. And I also would just say that, like, I'm very proud that we never fucking switched up, and this show never um we never switched up on what this show was about and who it was for. Y'all see, we waited till the very last minute to even address white female rappers because it was never going to give that. It was never going to give that. It was after the decision was made that the show was ending that I was like, okay, fine, Pierre, do the show
Okay,
notes.
Pierre, you can talk about your white girl.
Pierre, come on, do the show notes. Pierre, please go ahead because you've been wanting to talk about Iggy Azalea so fucking bad. But like, that is what I am really proud of. And I'm gonna be honest, I personally feel like Purse First has always had some sons, or at the very least some nosy neighbors who will never acknowledge that that is who they are, or that that is what is going on. But I've seen it. I get it. It is what it is, and I'm still proud of what we did here. So moving right
Boop.
along.
Cecily, she said what she said. We've had a lot of stuff online. We started
Yeah,
just seeing it come from Cecily literally texting me one day like, "Yo, you want to do this podcast?" And me just saying yeah, not knowing what the fuck it was about. Like
yeah,
she said, it was the pandemic. We didn't have shit to do. The world was shut
yeah,
down. She was like, "Grab some headphones," and just to know years later, we were in Miami to do the Trina Festival. Just we've spoken at schools.
yeah.
We
Like we literally gave a talk to a classroom.
we've spoken at schools, and like it is literally a thing. It is literally a thing. Purse First is literally a thing, and
Yeah,
100 episodes. I have not done 5 years of anything. I've never worked anywhere for 5 years. I've never been in relationships longer than 5 years. I've never did 5 years of anything. To know that for the past 5 years, every week, Cecily and I have been plugging up this computer and talking to y'all.
not quite every week, but y'all get what we saying.
Yeah.
And mind you, this 100 episodes don't include the bonus episodes.
And we gave y'all
So
bonus episodes.
yeah, so that it's actually more than 100 episodes if you include the bonus episodes. This is the 100th official episode of the show. So yeah, I mean, yeah, we did that. I mean, so I'm sure a lot of you guys are wondering, like, why is this, why is the show ending? It's kind of an abrupt, I think it is going to come as an abrupt kind of surprise to a lot of folks. And because we're not like in the podcast space for real, we don't know how these things are done. So I'm like, I don't know if I should have told y'all when we first decided, or so forgive us if we didn't do it right, and if it does feel abrupt, but we definitely wanted to just be transparent about why we've chosen to end the show. And I think that there are several reasons. Let's just kick it off with the fact that, like, just as people, Pierre and I are busy. Like, uh, shit, Pierre, what the show that's seen you through? Like,
Oh my God. So many jobs from Peacock to now being at the
unemployed
Disney and
job, the
who.
job,
So
the
from Peacock
unemployment,
to
then the
unemployment. Then I remember recording and us saying, "Y'all, if y'all got any job leads, send them to me purchasing a home." Oh my God. I
hmm
think when we started, I either had just won an Emmy or I know that year I had an Emmy,
hmm
so I can't remember if I had got the Emmy before or after the podcast. But I also purchased a home, so I started a real estate business. And speaking of business, I'm now going to business school.
me and Pierre have been arguing about this. Be honest,
Cecily
cause
is
see,
very serious about my career. I told my
my
mom and I told my
Capricorn kicked
friends.
in on his ass.
I
Like,
said I said I'm so scared to tell Cecily like the decisions I want to make because it's her decision at this point. Like
I'm on his
I'm
ass.
I'm scared, girl.
Capricorn women do not play that shit, baby. You tell us you gotta go. Okay, man, you finna do it, and you finna do it to your highest ability. How many
I think
relationships we didn't see you through
oh
on
my
the
God,
show?
that's what I was just about to say. I remember I started the podcast. I was in a very serious relationship. We broke
Very.
it up. We broke up. I lost a lot of weight because of that relationship. Got in another relationship that was super serious. We broke up. I started messing with my YN who's still around. Yeah, it's y'all have 5 years. Y'all have seen a lot.
Pierre can't keep no
Um,
man, y'all.
I can't keep him in, but A man can't keep me, as
I
Rihanna
mean,
said.
that's really what it is. Can't nobody keep Pierre. Yeah, and that's for me. So, I mean, in the time that I've recorded this, that we've been recording, I've written a whole book. I wrote Trina's memoir. I started my own kind of like creative strategy business, like outside of just,
Two
writing
books,
books.
Cecily.
Well, my book, I had just finished the manuscripts, and then my book came out while we were recording.
Exactly.
So yeah, so two book releases since first part has been on. Yeah, we y'all say me through two book launches,
Yes.
um, clients, grief, like moving shit, and now I'm writing a novel and trying to get back into
The creative space
the
of the
groove and
world.
creative space of that. All that to say, like we have a lot of personal things going on. And because we've been doing the show for so long and we have all these other things we're trying to do, sometimes Purse First can feel like this this thing like dumped in the middle of our week that like, oh shit, and we gotta do this. Like it didn't feel like this thing that like was the highlight of the week anymore. It became like another thing on the to-do list. And so that's always a sign that to just recalibrate what something means in your life, especially when it's something that's not your job, something that is not your actual livelihood and what you depend on to live. And I also think, I don't want folks moving on to just also some of the challenges that we face as a show. Like it cannot be understated also how difficult it is continuing to film this show remotely when so many other people have returned to in person.
Yeah.
Everybody got, a lot of people, people do podcasts now. They sitting down in the couch with a set and they micro, they in the same room with each other. And not only are Pierre and I still remote, kind of years after the pandemic, but we also are on different coasts.
3 hours
So
ahead. She's 3 hours ahead of me.
I am always 3 hours ahead. So we either recording real late my time or real early Pierre's time. And so, that is just like one of the hurdles that we've constantly had to navigate. It also made it more difficult to do like kind of community and like marketing pushes for things because we couldn't just pop out to do stuff because we are not in the same city. All of the funding that we have got, and we've always been an independent podcast, all of the funding that we have gotten have been grants. We have not ever y'all ain't never heard an ad on Purse First. Ever. Y'all ain't never heard a single commercial on Purse First. We have always it's always just been us. All of our funding that we have gotten, shout out to the funders who funded us along the way, is it been grants to pay for production, give us little stipends to keep showing up because this is work, writing all these scripts. So shout out to Ford Foundation, shout out to Critical Minded, shout out to Red Bull. Those are all the folks who have given us money over the years. But I think the biggest reason why we are choosing to end the show is just how much things have changed with the female rap game since we started it.
What happened in 2021 when we started?
That was literally right on the heels of WAP.
WAP
So
had
WAP had literally just came out in like August of 2020. And it was just like this moment where we were just seeing the full potential of what the rap girls could become. We had Nicki,
eh,
Cardi was an international superstar, Meg was on the scene, and Meg had crossed over and was becoming an international superstar. The girls was collaborating. We had Lotto, we had City Girls. Like there were all of these big marquee acts in addition to the niche acts, and there was just a hunger for what the girls in rap were doing. And yeah, we wanted to spend some time talking about that because that is just not true anymore.
yeah, when like it got to the point where Cecily and I are like, what we gonna talk about next week?
Bruh, bruh, no, y'all do not understand how many, and I don't know. We actually would love to hear from y'all. If leave a comment wherever you watching this, like if y'all could tell the episodes where me and Pierre would show up and didn't have shit to talk about. Cause
Like what we
wasn't shit happening. Especially recently, like within the last like year or so. Like just so many times when it wasn't shit to talk about because the motion just
to the point
stopped
where
from the girls.
I don't know if y'all remember season 1 and season 2, like we were strictly purse first. Like we wasn't talking about relationships. We wasn't it was we had so much about rap that we couldn't even talk about who you was fucking. We couldn't talk about it was nothing but just rap. It was so many songs being released every single week, albums being
Collabs,
released, collabs, new artists. It was so much
brand partnerships.
we didn't care. Then next season we had to bring in business. Okay, what partnerships are they doing? Doing the Dorito
Yeah.
commercial. Okay, let's talk about that. To the point it's like we was like, okay, let's add in the beefs. So and so don't
Yeah.
like this person. To the point where we like, okay, ass last, like who they fucking.
Right. Right. And I definitely feel like the show started to get more. We always had more content almost for ass last than we had for the regular show. I agree with that 100%. And if you really like, I'm really just like doing like a little timeline in my head of like even like the artist that was blowing up. Like we got our Sexy Red, we got our Glorilla in the time that we was recording this, but I feel like the last big acts that we had to really like be excited about or have a lot of conversation about was Ice Spice. Because even like Pluto and YK Nice, they not having these big, it's like the splash or the wave of it has gotten smaller and smaller. Like
Yeah.
Megan Thee Stallion comes and makes this huge wave, right? Glorilla and Sexy Red, they come and make a huge wave, a big wave, but not as big as Meg's, right? Glorilla's bigger than Sexy Red's. Ice Spice comes, she make a big wave that very quickly fizzles out. Also, again, still not as big as Megan Thee Stallion, right? So it just was becoming more and more clear that like what we thought was happening in culture started to turn and go another way.
And
And
then,
what,
for
Pierre?
me, once we lost the queen of rap,
I'm not arguing with Pierre on this one because I agree. Pierre and I have talked about when we decided to end the show, we had a serious conversation where I was like, okay, Pierre, like, how you feel about this? Like, do you think this is what we should be doing? Pierre was like, we had a good run, and it seems like it is fitting when now we cannot even claim the queen of rap. Like the queen has fallen, and it's like she has taken. I wouldn't say she took everything down with her, but it definitely is like that was the fucking straw that broke the camel's back. Like,
I don't. I just don't know, baby. Once we can't, we lost y'all know I talk about this all the time. The queen of rap gone, bitch is pregnant.
Pierre ain't gonna ever let that go. Pierre's never
Never.
gonna let that. Never gonna let go that our female rappers are all. I mean, but Pierre's not wrong, and I don't. This ain't even like a ass last perspective to say, one of the things that has, particularly this season, I think one of the things that has continuously come up is just recognizing how many of the rap girls are not actually, in our heads, female rap was glowing up at the same time that like these movements to like decenter men and like,
Hmm.
um, be just more aware of like what like your power just as a black woman outside of patriarchy and misogyny and shit and like realizing in real time with so many of our artists that like that is not actually how they felt because we just see how they immediately start simping for a nigga has been just such a heartbreak and also like yep, and that's why the rap game is what it is because this music was always meant to be something deeper and y'all not interested in what the deeper part of it is if we're going to be honest,
Hmm.
misogynoir and patriarchy is killing female rap. It's not just in the culture where we're seeing like black women be erased and deprioritized, but it's also in the way that some of the women in the culture are embracing the misogynoir. We thought y'all was getting on the mic saying that y'all was bad bitches because y'all was bad bitches and didn't need a nigga. And then the moment that y'all can talk about y'all niggas, now the whole rhetoric is that y'all bad bitches because y'all
Because
got a
y'all
nigga.
got a nigga. Woo! Woo!
What the fuck happened?
Woo!
Like, is you cool? Yuck. And this is spoken from somebody who got a nigga, has had a nigga the whole time before the show. But like, my politic is what my politic is. And I will also blame, the industry for this. I don't think we was actually ready to have a conversation about, misogyny and shit in hip hop, because then that means we gonna have to start looking them niggas way, right? About who's safe and who not safe and who watch the bam. But and I also think that like it's men who got to pick who our female rappers were.
Oh, oh,
If we really going
wow.
that's just is what
Wow.
it is. Ain't
Wow.
ain't no ain't no bitches, ain't no women sign none of these bitches. Men have been signing these artists. So it's men who are deciding who gets to step up to the mic and how and why and what they're gonna talk about.
Oh, you just ate that.
And it shows. It shows because it's getting to a point where like it's just not enough of y'all standing up. And the ones who do stand up or stand down on business is just they were never they were never like the main topic of conversation in the first place. I'll just say that. And honestly, it's unfortunate. It's sad. I do, since the Queen of Rap was brought up. I'm not gonna do a lot of placing blame on Nicki Minaj, but I will say the example of leadership was not there in this game. And the game was not molded. But when we say Nicki Minaj really like made herself the queen of female rap in particular, she did. She made it a monarchy and she made it a dictatorship. And I don't think that and that was the example that she set for what it should look like to come into this industry and dominate it. And we saw that just recreated over and over and over again. And so yeah, honestly, like I think, for all of those reasons, there have been a lot of times where it just hasn't felt good to record this show because of those transitions, at least for me, and definitely for Pierre. I know for Pierre too. Pierre's so sad of bitches getting pregnant, boy. He, yeah. So that ultimately is, we wasn't gonna lie to y'all. We wanted to give y'all the full, real reasons why, we are ending the show. We did not want to make it seem like, oh, we just had prior obligations and not be real with y'all and leave y'all with another town hall state of the rat bitch union address. Because yeah, it's bleak out here. But I mean, I guess to end on a positive, you know, a more hopeful note. Um, support your faves. Like
So support
if
these
I had to
girls.
crown if I had to crown a next Supreme, if we are allowed to have another Supreme, my money is on Mona Leo. I'm not gonna hold you. My money
Yeah.
is on Big Leo, and I do actually think when we did the episode talking about Mona Leo, I think it was last season. Remember, I was asking, is Mona Leo a conscious rapper? I do think Mona Leo is a conscious rapper, and I think it's just not corny because Mona Leo is a conscious rapper in that she's not just rapping about like Black liberation. Mona Leo is actually rapping about like Black women's liberation. And that
Okay.
shit don't sound as like I think that this is what a
It don't
Black.
sound like Rhapsody.
Yeah, like I think it's just not corny. I'm gonna just be honest with you. Like I think that there is a power that she has to really go far. She actually got some shit to say that is important, and I feel like she gets it. She understands what this is for and why we're here. Um, but do you have
Damn,
any
who would have
positive
who would have
notes? Yeah, who would you crown as the next Supreme?
damn. I I think Cardi is gonna step it up even more.
Cardi already is the Cardi became the new Supreme. Cardi is the current Supreme. Cardi
Eh,
became
eh,
Cardi is the new Supreme. Cardi is the current reigning
yeah.
Supreme. It sure the fuck ain't on Nika Tanya,
No, no. Nikki is
a child.
I'm interested to see how that will turn out in 2 or 3 years. I'm interested to see Meg new album after the relationship. I'm interested to see what Carisha album is going to do. I'm interested to see what Lotto is going to be talking about in her album and after she drops her baby.
Because this is the last episode, I feel like this is a safe space for me to say. I don't see it for Lotto. I'm over it. I'm so over Lotto. I find her to be uninteresting. At this point, it's like, girl, I don't even care that you can rap good because I just am so
That's
uninterested
the
in
only
what you
thing
have to
that's working
say
for her. I've never seen. She's so pretty and boring. How you look that good and you so boring? I don't even want to look at you.
to the point where I almost find Ice Spice more interesting at this point.
I do. Crazy because they were into it, but
Oh, and shout out to Ken the Man. Ken the Man will always be. You always have a home here, goddamn it. Okay?
yeah. And Maya the Dunn, I want to see more from her.
I wore
Oh,
my
is
hot
that whose shirt
commodity
you got
shirt.
on?
Yeah, this the Maya Don hot commodity shirt.
Cecily, you still will be able to see Cecily and I, but mostly Cecily at these concerts. You know, this
Sure
girl
will.
will go see a motherfucker at a flea market. She don't give a fuck.
Sure will. Sure will. I love a live show. Sure will.
She will go see you perform wherever. And I'm really interested to see where queer rap goes.
Yeah.
Lil Nas X is doing better. Kid Ken is online. I think he's about to make an OnlyFans. He's just
Santana a streamer now, so
Santana on TikTok. Yeah, I'm interested to see where queer rap is gonna go. Hold
can
on,
you get in the microphone?
my light went out.
Shall we also finna stop doing this show because after 5.5 years, Pierre still don't know how to damn that we is on recording.
We still aunties and uncles. Don't ever
Still
get it
ghetto. The
twisted.
show's still so ghetto, y'all.
What I was gonna say is, y'all, but every single week, I think we only had 1 week where we was like, "Ugh, let's cut this. Every single week, no matter whether we had something to talk about or not, we did it. Cecily and I got up and we recorded. And that is crazy because I just do not do that.
But yeah,
I, I don't do that. It was only 1 week where I'm talking about y'all. Every phones wasn't working, computers wasn't working. It was some personal going on both our lives, and we was just like, let's record this. Let's record 20
yeah.
minutes and call it a fucking day.
And just yeah, let's just do we can let's just pack something together. Come on. Let's just do it. Just want to say, I will say this. You know, we are the rap girl, auntie, and uncle. And I also feel like it is harder for Pierre and I to like actually keep up with everything that's going on with the rap girls just because of how we consume media. So like we are not even tuned in with the ways that people get put on to some we Instagram natives. We don't even be on TikTok like that. So like some shit get to popping on TikTok. We don't hear about the shit for 3 weeks until it finally make its way to Instagram. And then that's and then even then we don't necessarily get it. It's like what page is it on? What is it doing? So, I feel like we did our time. We gave y'all a big chunk of our 30s. Uh,
Oh,
uh I
damn.
mean 5.5 years. Like, yeah, I just turned
Damn.
38. I started this when I was 33. Like
We gave y'all our 30s.
yeah. Yeah, this is we gonna go ahead and call it. Also, to leave y'all on also a little bit of a hopeful note. They're not also are interested in things beyond female rap. And so there will also be things happening in pop culture that Pierre and I wanted to talk about, but we almost felt like we had boxed ourselves in a little bit. So this doesn't necessarily have to be the end of like Pierre and I together on a microphone talking to y'all. We're just ending the show about female rap for all of the aforementioned reasons.
And y'all know we want an agency.
Yes, we would like to have our agency, but we're gonna have to expand that too because the rap girls don't have enough money to pay for our services. If we just being honest.
But for the past 7 seasons, 5 years, we do want to thank every single person who supported us. We got a good Instagram following, our YouTube subscribers, the patrons who I
Shout
couldn't say
out
their
to the
name.
patrons.
Shout out to them, to the
For
damn
new
patron.
listeners, for new listeners, y'all probably hear us talk about Patreon and hear us say patrons all the time. It's because when we first got our Patreon, Pierre had never even heard of the platform. And Pierre could not pronounce it. And so Pierre kept saying patrons. And that just literally became the running joke of the show that our Patreon subscribers were patrons. That's just the first lore for y'all. That is Pierre don't even drink.
Don't drink.
I want to give a shout out to everybody who
Oh my
also
god.
has supported the show over the years. So shout out to Stones, who was the first person who like helped us with the audio. That's my home girl.
Wow, Stones.
Shout out to Devorian and Orsinus Media. They also were our sound editing engineers at one
This
point
is
in
crazy.
time. Shout out to Amore. Amore, take that out. Shout out
Amore,
to
take that out.
Amore.
Amore, take that out.
Which, and let me tell y'all why that was so funny. Because when we say Pierre is the personality hire, Pierre don't know shit about what's actually happening behind the scenes. So when we was working with Devorian and them, Devorian actually was like editing the show. So when we would say Devorian take that out, Devorian would know to take it in or out. Omar was like our associate producer. Omar was actually helping us on like the research shit. By that time, I actually had learned how to edit the episode. So Omar had no editing power anyway, and Pierre will always be yelling at this girl talking about, Omar, take that out.
Amore,
Omar
take
can't
that
take
out.
nothing
Amore
out,
looking
baby.
like I ain't taking nothing out.
Shout out to Aaliyah, who for several seasons has been our video editor, has
And
created so
social
many
media,
graphics for us on
yeah,
social media, all of that. Oh, also a couple see when we first launched our social media. Shout out to Charnay at 88 Gold. That's my
yeah.
homegirl who did our social media. When we first dropped, and then shout out to my homegirl Mickey who actually created the logo. Shout out to Nye, the science guy who is a dope DJ and producer based here in Brooklyn who actually made the music that you hear at the beginning and at the end of every episode. If you listen to the mixtape that I dropped for my book, you recognize that beat. It's the beat to one of my songs that's on my mixtape, and I just used the instrumental for Purse First. But shout out to Nada Science guy who created that beat, who
Who
produced
who
that beat.
shot our photos? And I'm just giving everybody shout outs. Who was our
Oh, shout
photographer
out to the
and
AV Club. Shout out to the AV Club in Miami. They rented studio. They rented us some studio space to
interview
interview
Trina?
Trina, and then they also came out and did all of our production when we filmed in person at Rockstar Music Fest when we had backstage access and was doing all of our
Yeah.
interviews. So yeah, thank you to just everybody who has helped us over the years. And I do have to say, I just want to really thank you, Pierre. Like when I asked you to do this show, like I was just a fan of like Pierre and the Freaky Boys, like everybody else. I was just another hood rat who had seen the videos on YouTube. Everybody know what videos that I'm talking about, but to get to know you over these years and to actually be able to call you a friend for you supporting this show when we had some funding, when we didn't have no funding, you just continuing to really like support the vision. That means the world to me. I know that it was not always easy. And you also just brought such an audience like with you. Like I joke and call Pierre just co-host, Pierre just the personality, the higher or whatever. But the truth is that the show would not be what it is without you. And I cannot thank you enough, honestly. Like I would not have been able to do this show by myself, and I don't think that I would have been able to do it with anybody else, really, honestly.
Oh my god, I feel the same. Like
Yeah.
this has been it's been so fun. You made it fun. It didn't feel like work. It just felt like every week I got to talk to one of my friends and y'all listeners just got to listen to it. So thank you for even thinking of me. And I was just telling somebody, speaking of when you moved into your apartment, Cecily, y'all know I say Cecily is my wealthy friend. I just stayed at her house, and it's house on top of house. It's just rooms and studios and a wealthy dog that doesn't do tricks, just eat. Uh,
Pierre shoved my baby face into the wall.
I'm like, sit, roll over, Paul, none of that. Food, baby. Where
Mm-mm.
food? Food, where's the food? And just thank you for this experience. We've actually done so much outside of Purse First. You coming to LA, us just doing dinners, us going on field trips,
Yes.
we just been around the world and
Yeah. Yeah. Pierre has met my best friend. I've met
oh
Pierre
yeah.
best
Oh yeah.
friend. Oh,
Oh yes. Yes.
obviously I've met Pierre's best friends, some of Pierre hoes. They be stopping
Yes.
me in the street in
Yes.
New York,
Yes.
like, oh, you remember
Yes.
me? I was like, oh hey.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
literally, like, just have been so we really embraced each other. Like, it was so beautiful when my mom passed away, like finding out that like one of the girls that my mom that went to nail school, my mom and had been close to in the last few months of her life was like one of TT best friends that TT was friends with since high school. Like, just like all of these like
Small
beautiful.
world.
So yeah, Chicago was like that. Chicago be giving small city town sometimes, but yeah, I'm just really happy that at the end of this, like, I can say that we're actually friends and like,
Yeah. We have each other location. I'll be like,
yes,
why is
period.
Sesali in Atlanta?
Where's you at? What are you doing? And so with that, here's the deal with Patreon. So I know some of y'all like, okay, so the motherfucking show ending. Let me go ahead and cancel this subscription. Fair, fair, more than fair. We will not be canceling Patreon subscription. So like, if you want to cancel your subscription, go actively cancel your subscription. We are keeping it up because that is the video archive of all of the
Mhm.
episodes from when we started doing video, and also all the bonus content is there. Again, podcasts are almost like books, or I guess any other type of media. Like a show that came out 12 years ago, sometimes motherfuckers discover it later and still want to watch it. All of that still exists, and so we are keeping that up and active so that people who want to access that archive can. For folks who are already subscribed to the Patreon, obviously we are leaving that up to you. How long you would like to support us. That money will definitely still help Pierre and
Yeah.
I. If you want to contribute, five contributing that $5 a month will help Pierre towards business school's goals. That helps me have time to finish writing this novel. Like that it helps, it does. But also for people listening who are just discovering this show, you can pay that $5 and go back and see the whole archive of the show. So we are keeping that there. Like I said at the top of the show, you can still leave the ratings and reviews because hey, that tells people, hey, there's this old show that other people are still into that you might, be interested in. Obviously, it's now more important than ever that you follow me at Bad Fat Black Girl on all the social media platforms and follow Pierre at Prince Charming P. And I'm gonna be honest, I would strongly suggest that y'all still follow Purse First Show on Instagram because while this is the end of Purse First, the only podcast exclusively about the girls and gays who rap. Um, Pierre and I aren't just gonna all of a sudden no
Yeah.
longer have anything to say. So you gotta know that if Nicki Minaj gets to acting crazy in a
We gonna
couple of months,
start
like
these
we know
motherfucking
she is,
cameras up.
the reels, at the very least, the reels and the TikToks are going to start coming in, and I probably, I will, repost. I will still probably be posting some content on the Purser's Instagram just to keep up with the space. So what they be saying, watch this space. And with that, and for the last time, we'll
We'll
holla.
holla.